Hello, guys and ghouls. Welcome back to today's episode of This Land Is Not Your Land. So let me tell you about a story, actually true story, an escrow that we had where the sellers had paid a certain amount of money for a piece of land that they in turn went and got the permits from the city to actually build a property. They built a home on. They were investors, so to speak, new investors, so not quite familiar with the title process, I guess I would say. So they didn't have title insurance when they bought the piece of land that they got approval from the city to build on. So fast forward, after buying the land, paying however much they paid for it, and acquiring title to the property by quitclaim deed, they went and built the home and permits, you name it, the whole 9 yards with the city, got their certificate of occupancy and listed the property to sell. Obviously went under contract and opened escrow with us, where in doing our title research, determined that the initial person who everyone believed to be the son of the deceased owner, who it would have inherited the property, in fact was not that person and didn't have the right or authority to sign off any of the deeds where the title transferred ultimately to our end seller who we were dealing with. So we had to tell our seller that they in fact did not own the land that they built their property that was in escrow, and ultimately it meant that they needed to get an attorney and file quiet title and go through that process through the courts, which in turn took about 6 to 9 months for them to clear up. And ultimately a real estate attorney was able to go through that process with them. They obviously stuck with it because they were well invested with the fact that they built a house on a piece of land that they didn't own. And ultimately within about, I want to say 8 months, came back and were able to put the house back on the market and resell it, and ultimately deliver clear title to the new owner. My agents who are watching this, I bet you probably know which transaction we're talking about. But yes, mind you, it was a very complicated transaction, and obviously very difficult to tell a seller that the money that they spent on a house could in fact totally be wasted over the fact that they did not properly acquire title to the land that they bought, that they thought they bought, and that they ultimately built on. So moral of the story there obviously is title insurance is in fact a truly needed component of a real estate transaction. So if ever you're wondering why title insurance, case in point, making sure that a property that you're buying, real estate involved, is in fact being sold by the rightful owner, and you're being delivered title, or your buyer is being delivered title clearly, and that they've got title insurance to make sure that that's their property. So keep that in mind. Definitely a hairy situation and scary for us all involved. Thank you. This has been another title horror story from Maria Shelley at Lawyers Title.